to grant to you. Yeah, I don't care about how what I say makes a person emotionally feel if the purpose of the discussion is a disagreement. How your emotional state from there is totally irrelevant to me.
Do you know that that's a symptom?
Of what?
Psychopathy.
Psychopathy doesn't exist.
It does.
It doesn't.
It's the lack of empathy for another's feelings.
Okay, so you're a psychologist, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that psychopathy is actually a medical psychological condition and that you can identify it in the DSM?
Yes, they can now brain scan you and tell if you have psychopathy.
Do you have your phone?
Yes.
Okay, can you pull up the DSM-5 and show me where it says anything about psychopathy?
I'm not talking about the DSM-5. I'm talking about...
Well, then how do you categorize what is a psychological condition?
You can get a brain scan and your gray matter would show up differently than somebody without psychopathy.
That, first of all, when you're talking about brain scans, that's really brand new tech. That's the same thing as when people say that you can do a brain scan to determine a gender. You really can't, because you have human
Correct.
variances in sexuality.
The gender is determined more by the hormonal makeup in the body
Brain matter
system.
cannot determine if somebody is a psychopath, but even if it could, psychopathy in and of itself has not even been demonstrated to be harmful to society. Psychopathy in and of itself could be a boon to society. For instance, you may need people who have completely unfeeling dispositions for certain jobs which need doing.
I agree, because we are all tools, essentially, of the divine.
Well, I mean,
God.
Sure,
You in your ideology, you would call it God.
Yeah, I would say that we're all definitely in.
I agree.
There's
where our Venn diagrams are crossing. I believe we are all tools.
But I need to ask, just because I don't care what your emotional state is when we're having a discussion about something we disagree on, I don't understand why that would even indicate psychopathy. It's very common for Stoic men to not care about the emotional status of a person who refuses to adhere to logic.
It's very common of men to be abusive. It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, but now you're conflating two different things. So I would agree.
Psychopathic individuals are abusive.
Yeah, but
Just
not all
because
abusive
it's
people are
been
psychopaths.
True. That's true. Some of them are narcissistic.
Yeah, but not all abusive people are narcissists.
Some of them are just trauma responding and they overreact.
Not all of them are doing that either. Yeah, abuse.
Name a type of abuse that
from
somebody.
You is so broad that encompasses everything. Encompasses emotional,
it's the degradation,
physical, psychological.
It's the degradation. It's the calculated degradation of another individual without remorse, feeling, or care. It's not a trauma response, in other words. Now, what you saw of me in the last show was me trauma responding. So I did hurt people's feelings, and I said things that were, you could say, abusive. You could say abusive. But I have very complex traumas. Mm-hmm. I could spend
but isn't it
a lot of time telling you about it.
But isn't it awful convenient to say, when I do it, it's excused. When you do it, it's because you're a psychopath?
Well, to be honest with you, you're a predator. I'm not.
Well, you're not a predator?
No.
What makes me predatory and you not predatory?
I don't go out seeking to hurt people. You do.
Who do I go out to seek to hurt?
Me.
How did I seek to hurt you?
You are seeking to show the followers that I am basically not worth living, not worth speaking, not worth breathing.
What are you talking about?
Not worth having an opinion. My opinion.
Well, if your opinion is bad, then yes, your opinion. So,
you are a very condescending person.
Try to juxtapose yourself. Put yourself in my shoes for a second, okay? Let us assume for a second that I had some knowledge.
I was raised by your type.
Assume for a second. Well, they didn't raise you right, but assume for a second.
No, I just diverted to something else.
Okay, so anyway, back to this real quick. I was in the middle of talking. It's awful abusive of you to cut me off while I'm speaking.
It is.
I'm speaking.
I'm just giving you back your own medicine.
I'm speaking.
I'm giving you back your own medicine. I don't respect you.
I'm speaking.
I don't respect you.
I'm speaking.
I don't respect your thought process.
So anyway.
I literally don't respect your thought process.
Who cares what you respect?
Who cares what you respect?
I mean, do you want to have the
Why should
convo
I care about
or
you
not?
if you don't give a shit about me? I don't give a shit about you.
You're just going to cut in while we're trying to talk?
Yes, if you don't give a shit about me, I'm going to show you what it feels like to have somebody not give a shit about you, but I'm not going to gaslight you and pretend like I give a shit. I'm just going to tell you I don't give a shit about your type.
So then there's the difference between
I don't give a shit about you. You're a piece of shit. You're only here because your sex life sucks.
I actually
do you want to go there?
Yeah, go there. You're only here because you abuse your children.
Okay. I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Hang on. You can dish it out, but you can't take it?
I gave you explicit boundaries that you were
And
not
I
supposed
just
to
broke your
cross.
boundaries because I don't give a shit. Because I don't give a fuck.
You didn't give me boundaries. Get your wife on the phone.
What would you like to talk to her about?
I would like to ask her how the sex is.
Okay.
Wait, that's crazy. Come on, let's.
I really would.
Look, we
Because
gotta.
I can't. I was
I
married
don't
to your
give a
type.
shit.
We can call my ex-husband if you want. He might answer. You never know. You two would get along. You'd be besties. He's a real winner, by the way.
Look, if
I mean, he probably is. He divorced you, right?
No, I divorced him.
Oh, well, that actually makes more sense.
So look, if you want Andrew to respect the boundaries, you can't be slinging.
But
these
here's the
attacks at
thing,
him.
Brian. He didn't give me boundaries. He didn't give me.
What's
I
this
gave him
common-
boundaries. He did
has
not
he-
say you can't do this. You
You
can't do
said
that.
you're responsible for my
Listen.
emotional health.
We can put the no button in the middle, and you can use it too if you would
Okay.
like. Do you need
Yes, put it
boundaries
there.
too and consent?
Yes, put
Do
it
you need
there.
a safe word? It's no.
Put it there. So here's the boundary.
Now you feel safe.
You
You
ready?
can say no whenever you want.
Okay. When I hit the no, that means stop talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Agreed.
Do you think you can do that?
Can I show my ass on camera every time you say no?
No.
No, we're
Why?
gonna pass on that.
Because that would violate the terms of service.
What's the terms of service that I
That you
can't show
can't
ass?
show your ass on camera?
I never signed anything that said I couldn't.
So you're going to
We're
break
on
the
YouTube.
TOS?
What's the TOS?
Nick, just intro if you
Terms
have
of
to.
service.
What is it?
It means
We're on YouTube
yeah.
and Twitch. You can't show.
You guys, I'm old. I don't know what these things are.
You know what YouTube is.
I don't know the
It's
rules.
not
of
lying,
these
lying
rules.
through
Do
your
I
teeth.
seem like I follow rules?
Okay, but would you?
It's you don't seem like you're even rational or coherent.
I'm,
Let alone
I'm
following
not
rules.
rational to mainstream society. I'm
Okay,
not.
so
I'm
listen-
a divergent.
listen. Okay, so-
Obviously.
You can be divergent and be rational.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily. No,
Yes.
not these days. No, you can't.
Yes, you
no,
can.
you literally can't.
Yeah, you literally
can. Do you like
Do you
Trump?
literally
Are
know
you
what the word
supporting
literally
Trump?
means?
Are
Because
you
it literally doesn't mean what
Are
you literally
you
think.
supporting Trump? I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Look at you. Of
course.
Okay, look at. There's an area our Venn diagram intersects.
So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Let's say,
Okay.
let's just pretend
Okay.
Trump was my dad.
Uh-huh.
Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Would you give me a little more respect?
No.
None?
No. I would treat you exactly how you treat you. I usually match people's energy. So if
Same,
they're being lunatic assholes, then I'm a lunatic asshole.
Same.
Yeah.
High five.
No,
And-
you. So just so you know, yeah, I don't want to touch you. Don't want to touch you. But here's the thing, all right? No, don't do it. Don't touch me. Don't.
Intro-
It's that dangerous?
Nick, you
My
gotta be
ass
faster
is
with the
literally
man.
that dangerous?
Huh?
My ass is literally that dangerous?
Bro, you wouldn't do this. You do realize we're a show, right? We don't want to show that shit.
You don't want to show ass? Then why do you have an OnlyFans?
What does that even? What are you talking about?
Why do you have an OnlyFans?
We have a meme page. We don't post
Why?
anything on
Why
it.
do you
It has
target?
nothing on it.
Why do you target OnlyFans girls?
What are you even talking about?
Why do you target OnlyFans girls?
What does that have to do with us not wanting for you to show nudity?
You literally target basically porn stars.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't know what targeting a porn star means?
You'd have to explain to me what that even means.
Are most of your guests not in
Pull
the
up the
sex
stats.
industry?
No, it's actually we've gone through painstakingly all our episodes
Mm-hmm.
to get statistics, age, relationship status, all this stuff. Less than 30% of the guests that we've had on the show are involved in sex work.
Who makes you the most money?
The non-sex workers, actually.
Really?
And how would that even be relevant?
I'm just collecting data.
Do you think we keep track on like the clip from this specific person? It's honestly
I would think you would.
Our most
The analytics.
viral moment, our number one most viral moment wasn't a sex worker.
What is it?
Hold on. And then our most viral moments in general typically aren't have anything to do with sex workers.
Oh, what is
In
the
any
most
case,
viral moments?
You can't be showing your ass
Why?
on a because I just said so.
I can't show my ass on the internet. I do it all the time.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to sexually assault people.
Oh, was that sexual assault?
That actually technically was sexual assault.
Oh, well, now you know how I feel.
Did
sexually
somebody here
assaulted?
sexually assault?
I didn't say sexual, but
but you just
emotionally,
did. You just sexually assaulted.
You
If
have
my wife was here, you wouldn't be on this earth.
That's
I
fine.
promise.
That's fucking fine. Because at least I could handle something in the realm of fucking visual.
Okay, let me.
Coherence.
I draw the line at sexual assault.
Okay, so do I.
Yeah,
so
no,
when
you
I say
just
I have a
literally tried to
boundary,
sexually assault
so
me.
when I say I have a boundary
When
with
you come over to me and lift up your whole dress and try to move your ass into
how
my
does it
face,
feel?
that's sexual assault.
So when you try to impose
That
your
is not sexual
hierarchical
assault.
ideologies to me, that is energetic
Not
assault.
sexual assault.
Why did my body register the last time
I
I
don't
was here
care
with
what
you
your body
as a
registered.
rape? My body registered it as a rape.
Did I emotionally grape you?
Yes. Yes.
Only in decadence
You did.
is this
Whoa,
possible.
whoa.
Humans
Hold on, I have to pause the TTS. Okay. Say that one more time.
I had to emotionally process the last episode the same exact way that I had to emotionally process
That's not what,
every
just
single
repeat.
rape that I've
There's
experienced.
There was a TTS that came through. Just repeat what you said. That's not what you said. Repeat what you said.
Honest, I don't know what I said when.
You said that you were what?
Emotionally raped by Andrew. And then he's laughing about affecting a woman feeling emotionally raped by him as if he doesn't give a shit how he affects anybody.
Do you usually try to sexually assault people you feel have emotionally done that to you?
I assault
Christine
people who
donated
assault me.
$100.
Hold on. Let these come
Desiree,
through.
you need to cut Andrew off more and not allow him to speak. This is how you can win the debate. You need to frustrate him and not allow him to make a point, and don't answer anything direct.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
hold on. There's another one coming in. We'll let the original one come in. Thank you, Christine, I guess.
Naruto 2.0 donated $100. Only in decadence is this possible. Humans can't easily impart knowledge to offspring. Individuals pigeonholed. Please. Sure, let your child touch the fire, you wouldn't want to pigeonhole them.
All
Pathetic.
right. Naruto, thank you, man. Nick, something about grid 1? His TTS did not come through? Are we good? Oh, okay. And then we have Pelagic here. Pelagic, this is what a psychopath looks like. Okay. So, thank you, Pelagic. Now,
In page 71 of your book, you say basically all the greats, including myself and Jesus, with whom you categorize yourself, with whom I have quite a spicy relationship with now, wink, wink. What did you mean by that?
Because I talk about, if you actually read my whole book, I talk about that one of my reoccurring fantasies, can I go there?
Yeah.
Was basically something that I had tried to repress my whole time of being a Christian, was a fantasy of Jesus sitting on the throne and me essentially riding him face to face. And I was always shaming myself and pushing that fantasy away until finally the death of a friend in my arms basically fucked me up so bad that everything that I thought was true exploded. And I finally started allowing in every part of me, including the dark and the things that I had previously disowned from myself and shamed. I let it come in, and what I realized was that my sexuality wanted to reintegrate with my spirituality. And my spirituality at the time, because I was coming out of a Christian ideology, my spirituality at the time was the conceptualization of my creator, of my divinity as being incarnate in Jesus. And so what I realized was, in allowing that fantasy to be alive in my body, was that I simply wanted oneness and face-to-face, eye-to-eye contact with the fullness of God. And
So Jesus was your boyfriend, essentially, in your head.
my husband,
Your husband.
yes,
Okay. And you wanted to sleep with him.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Not blasphemous at all, you don't think?
No,
No.
he created sex, and he created me.
To have sex
And-
with him?
Yes, we're very intimate,
How intimate?
very.
Okay.
So intimate, I would say that it's no longer me running my life, it's him.
Jesus runs your life?
Christ consciousness, yes.
Oh, Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
What is that?
The empowered consciousness, basically the antithesis of victim consciousness.
So,
Couch_hopper_outdoors donated $100. Wilson's wife said his second is a 12/10ths. Also, stop crying, you victim.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
She left a comment that
What?
Rachel, his wife Rachel, left a comment that it's a great relationship, great marriage.
Oh, I think she's saying the sex life.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Your sex life is great. I'm glad to hear it.
I didn't say anything about it.
Oh, well, your wife. Apparently, that was
you
your
said
wife.
something about it.
I was asking, can we call his wife? And apparently, she left a
Well,
comment, so we didn't have to.
I mean, actually, if Rachel's, we could have her do a call and
Yeah.
couple, if she's cool with it,
if she wants.
just so you can hear directly from.
Sure.
But would you say that Andrew coached her, coached her,
Into victimhood.
that like he's controlling like puppet strings? Like
Do I need to say that?
you don't have to say that.
Because you did. You already said it for me.
We're just asking.
I'm just asking.
Well,
Because she's going to come on and say, Andrew's dope. Andrew's
okay.
awesome.
Okay. Well, then,
Love Andrew.
if we already know what she's going to say, and
But
we
she
already
is-
know that there is a
But she is
opposing
chained to the
theory that
stone.
supposedly
She is chained to the
there
stone
is
right
a
now.
thing whereby females are fawning. It's called a fawn response, where we please. We please. Been there. Been a wife a couple times. So if you think it's worth it to have her on, we can. If you
You
don't,
asked
it's
for her, not me.
I'm deferring to you because you're her
Isaiah
leader.
Fluke donated $100. Jesus would have hung her on the cross.
Isaiah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. There's a delay in that one coming in. Thank you, Isaiah. Appreciate it, bro. Should we do a voice call, or is she set up on the Discord?
I don't think it would be easy for her to move over to Discord with
I'm
us.
just,
so that's
I'm deferring to you. If you can be a representative of what she would say, and you guys already
No, let's get her on the phone.
posed
Call
the
her right now.
Yeah, I
opposing
can call her.
possibility,
Let's just ask if she's cool with it.
I'll ask her.
Yeah.
you could even just have her question in or comment in.
Yeah.
But I
we're
thought
working on getting-
that was her response to what I had said. I thought she already made her response, in that you're a 12 out of 10. Apparently, you're an amazing husband.
Yeah, but I think if you hear it directly from her,
That was that not directly
like,
from her?
you hear it in her voice.
I saw her say.
I think,
what I'm asking, what difference?
Yeah, I'm not
In
doing
her
it.
opinion,
Never
he's a
mind.
12 out of 10.
No.
No.
Is Rachel going to go off?
She just said, read her my text from last night. And we're not going in.
Okay.
That's not
All right.
happening.
Okay.
So I accept the fact that from Rachel, your wife's perspective, you are a above and beyond husband. You're an amazing husband.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Seems to think so, yeah.
She thinks so. So I'm happy for her.
Killer of Cereal donated $100. No BS. We have a sign in my town that says, Jesus comes quickly. It all makes sense now. This woman lives in an extremely fantastical world where objective reality isn't rough.
Kill of Serial, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the TTS. Do you have a response to Killa?
I'm not really honestly sure what he's trying to say.
The whole fantastical world where objective reality doesn't exist, that whole thing?
Well, that was his opinion. I'm not going to argue with somebody's opinion of me.
Okay, all right.
He's entitled
so I do want
his
to come
opinion.
back. Actually, before I get back to one thing, in an email you sent me, you said you have personas like Eminem, Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers. It's a thing for us genius black ghetto slave souls inside sexy white bodies.
Yeah. Well, you guys weren't that interested in hearing about my...
I was interested. I'm interested.
Are you interested?
About the black ghetto slave soul inside, or
What part of it were you interested in?
well, sorry, you said you guys weren't that interested in.
Well, so it goes back to my talk about white supremacy and trying to explain that
Wait, you
it's an
wanted to move that
energetic
on.
matter. It's an ideology. It's a matter of ideology.
Wait, we did want to hear it, but then you hit the no button.
Well, because it did not seem that you really wanted to understand. It seemed that you wanted to propagate a particular ideology, and that's exactly what I was trying to talk about, but I wasn't...
Was it a? Sorry, go ahead.
So I'd like to explain the concept from my worldview so that you understand.
Cable donated $100. Madison, blink twice slowly if you're in danger.
So imagine from my perspective, right, that I see that there's a whirlpool and you're in a boat. And everything that goes near this whirlpool gets sucked down, okay? And I say, listen, you're in this boat, but if you go towards that whirlpool, it's going to suck you down. And you go, no, listen. From my perspective, it's not a whirlpool. It's a, I don't know, fucking zazzily baz. You call it a zazzily baz. And you go, and I think I can just sail right through it. And I go, no, stupid. It's a whirlpool, and you're going to get sucked down into it, and you're going to die. Don't do that. And you go, nope, I'm going to do it anyway. And you just go out and you get sucked down the whirlpool, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it is with ideologies, too. So when somebody says to me, they're like, it's just my ideology, therefore it's just my opinion, and so therefore you trying to say anything about it isn't correct. It's like, no, I think it is. I think it's fine to say, see that vortex there? That
So
makes no,
you-
hang on, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Okay, so that little whirlpool or whatever that you're about to go down, right? Just trying to go, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, so you're trying to be my daddy?
No, I'm not trying to be your daddy. I would do that for a total stranger.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in being protected by you.
It's not an interest of you. It's an interest for me. Whether
So-
or not you're a person who says, I'm going to pour gasoline on myself and light a match because I want to do this, because I want to be immolated and completely cook myself, and I see you going for that match, I'll still stop you anyway.
But the damage that you did to me in the last show, if I was not such an emotionally stable person, I would have gone home and killed myself.
Okay, so it's really funny.
I
There's
didn't
a lot
feel
of
protected
times,
by you
there's a lot of, I'm
emotionally.
not there to protect you.
I thought you just said that you
you're
were.
not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm making a comparison to an ideology and saying to you that I'm not going to keep your fragile ideology intact or not destroy the fragile ideology if it's bad, because that in some way is going to be emotionally painful. That's cognitive dissonance. That's what that is. It is emotionally painful to shrug off bad ideologies. That's true. That's true. It's just like saying, okay, my leg is broken. Okay, well, it healed wrong. I got to break it again so it heals right. It's the same thing. And the more you propagate bad ideology, the more you're going to see your ideology get broken over and over and over and over and over and over and over as the leg gets reset time and time and time again. You call that emotional grape, right? I call it logic and reason.
Okay.
I got a couple questions. You said that I don't want to reuse the words you precisely used. You said that you went home and wanted to harm yourself because of your experience on the show?
No, I was saying that if I was less emotionally stable, I could see how I would do that.
We've had over 1,000 people on the show. They're all fine.
When you sexually assault
They're
men,
fine?
couldn't that be the result of that too?
Could it?
Couldn't it be the result when you sexually assault men?
Did
that
you feel
they
in
could've-
danger?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, yes. Of course, any woman who's not my wife, who in any way tries to put sections of her body near me like that in a sexually provocative way, it's fucking dangerous as hell, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Or
Sounds
horribly dangerous.
I'm just curious. Had Andrew done something similar and he like exposed himself?
Yeah, went over and just whipped it out. That would have
Like,
been okay.
would you?
I would be comfortable with that.
Oh, my God.
Do you think most women would?
I'm not most women.
Right, but Andrew's not like you.
because here's the thing.
Andrew's not like
but
you.
here's the thing. That's not passive aggressive. That is you literally showing me exactly what you're trying to do. When you use psychological tactics and emotional manipulation based off of my trauma responses, that is passive aggressive. That is then you trying to manipulate and hurt me. I would literally rather you pull down your pants and put your dick in my face. Then I know what I'm dealing with. I did not know what I was going to be dealing with in the last show.
Yeah,
so
but-
it felt like. That's what I'm saying. It felt like a manipulation and an emotional rape
Yes,
because
I
I
can
did not
understand.
know. I thought I was
Yeah.
literally coming on a dating podcast.
So I can understand from the perspective of saying that you'd rather see immediate action other than what you would consider to be passive aggressive or manipulative.
I would just rather see put your cards on the table.
So other than manipulative tactics, right? When you're saying manipulative tactics, you're saying you would much rather see somebody be physically aggressive.
Yes.
Sure, I can understand that. That at least makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But isn't it also a form of passive aggressive manipulation to say, because I have trauma responses to perceive things, you don't know anything about me, there was no way for you to ever determine what these trauma responses would be, that me just having a normal conversation with you like I would anybody else on this show and have done 1,000 times, isn't that a form of manipulation?
Well, you had disclosed to me that you were not affected emotionally by anybody.
So
really.
did you. Same thing you said.
I'm deeply emotionally affected by people.
No, what you said to me was, you said, listen, this isn't a big deal, right? This conversation in this context doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. That's what you said.
When?
But you said, this doesn't matter. I have no respect for you. And if I was a less emotional person, I would have gone home and off myself. I can handle it, right?
No,
No.
I was not saying that I had no emotion. I was saying if I had less emotional intelligence and tools to process those emotions, I could understand with this bullying that people experience, which I had not honestly experienced anything like this before. Nothing like it at all.
Yeah, I never experienced anything like that either. I
Yeah.
never experienced
Well,
a woman
welcome to
trying
the
to
club.
sexually assault me.
So now at least I feel like we're on the same playing field.
Yeah, no, it's not the same playing field to
I-
physically
I-
sexually assault somebody versus your perception of guy made argument which hurt my feelings, therefore he emotionally raped me. That's
Okay.
absurd.
Okay.
That's like not in the same universe.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. On tiered logic, right? It's
Do
just
you-
not the same.
You win? Do you want me to tell you you win?
I mean, yeah.
Is that-
yeah, you
is
know
that-
what? Yeah, say Andrew.
So all I'm trying to do is literally get to the point of, do you want me to get on my knees and submit
No. All I want you to do is engage with the arguments. That's it.
so that you can fuck with me?
No, so I can understand your worldview.
So you can monetize fucking with me?
No, so that I can understand your worldview.
You understand my worldview.
Really?
That's why
Because
you're
every
picking
time
it
I ask you a
apart.
question about it, I lead to the next, to the next, to the next, and I still don't actually get coherent answers.
Maybe that's well thought out on my part.
Oh, yeah, I stole your pen. It's well
Maddening.
thought. So you don't want to tell me what your ideology is?
I don't want to tell my brain that you give a shit about understanding me because it's not actually true.
Yeah, listen, I would not be here if I didn't give a shit about other
False.
people's worldviews.
False.
No, it's not false.
False.
I promise you I
What's
would
your
not
job,
be here.
Andrew? What's your
I'm a
credentials?
robotics mechanic.
A robotics mechanic? What's your degrees in?
I don't have a degree.
How are you a robotics mechanic and you don't have a
Because I had
degree?
an apprenticeship and it's a trade.
Okay, so similar to life coaching, let's say?
No, it's not similar to life coaching, let's say.
It's a trade, though.
Yeah, it's a real trade.
So life coaching is not a real trade?
I don't know.
Do people make a living doing it?
Sure.
So what is your definition of a trade?
So to me, a trade apprenticeship would be like an applied skill. So
life coaching isn't an applied skill?
no, I don't think it's a
So why would you
physical
have to
applied
go?
skill.
Why would you have to go to a trade school to learn how to do it then? If it's not a skill that you have to learn
I'm not sure
and
that
apply.
those are trade schools. I'm not sure.
Give me the definition of a trade. Aren't you learning a skill to perform a trade that you can monetize?
Yeah, but they couldn't. I mean, that would fall under anything, though, right?
Anything that you can monetize and you have to learn how to do it, I would call that a trade skill,
Okay.
right?
Well, I mean, if that's your definition, I'll concede to the definition.
Okay, so So you have no degrees in psychology. You have no ministry degrees. You've never been to any ministry
Those
school.
are just appeals to authority.
Appeals to authority. So you
Why would that
want,
matter?
So you want me to appeal to your authority, yet you literally
Not
have
asking you to
a two-year
appeal to authority.
training program in how to do robotics?
No. What does that have to do with anything? Let's assume that you know what? Let's
The
assume
point
this.
is, you're arguing
Let's
with me
assume
about
I was a
psychology,
seventh grade-
spirituality,
Yeah.
and all of these things that I've literally at least gone to trade schools
So
for.
what?
What have you done?
What would that matter? Let's say I was a 6th grade dropout and I cleaned carpets for a living and was a coomer on the internet who had an open relationship with my wife. Let's say that was my background. In what world would it make me wrong to question the things that you say if you're wrong about them, regardless of whatever my degrees were in?
Because you are questioning my authority as a psychologist when
So?
you're not a psychologist.
Why do I need to be the thing to question the thing? It's like
If
saying you
you-
can't question the medication your doctor gives you unless you're a doctor. Like what?
Questioning is one thing, but having the condescendence to actually believe that you are right over what I am trained to be right in, that's a little crossing a line, I would say.
What's the line that you're crossing?
Your tone.
The tone? It's the wrong tone?
Because am
I tone policing
I am
you?
actually the authority in everything that you're talking about psychologically and spiritually and scholastically. So you need to get yourself in line and question me as a student of those things. Because
Okay.
I'm actually the teacher. You're the student.
Well,
Mr. Boulay donated $100. Communique from the Inquisition Patriarchy. Grand Inquisitor, have you received the autographed blue-white cup with certificate of authenticity? I am performing an audit of our inventory.
not yet.
Thank you, Mr. Boulay, but no.
I don't-
Appreciate it, Mr.
I don't
Boulay.
know what that even means.
It doesn't have anything to do with this. It's
Okay.
like a show inside joke. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, so by this metric, right, if somebody, let's say, is a boat maker, right, and they make for you a boat, and you say, hey, it doesn't fucking float, and they go, don't question me, I make boats.
So let me ask you something. Do you heal people's trauma?
I'm not so sure that you can heal anybody's trauma.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
then how come you haven't healed your own?
I literally have.
Well, then why do you keep on talking about how you're fucking traumatized all the time?
Because trauma is an ongoing thing that we continually have to process.
So you just re-traumatized every day?
Yeah, and then I have to process it every night. And that's how I don't continue it on to the next day. Remember, the Bible says don't go asleep,
So
don't fall
every day
asleep on your anger.
you're re-traumatized, and then every day you heal yourself of your trauma?
Yes, every night before I go to bed.
Every night. Okay,
Yes.
so all of your old traumas that you keep appealing to is being problematic, right? Divorces, things
Well,
like this.
the
You've
bigger,
healed from all of
the
those,
bigger
right?
catastrophic traumas take a little bit more time. They're more complex. They don't take one night. But for example,
Well, how many nights do they take?
it just depends.
Okay, so
Do you want to talk about a specific trauma and
yeah,
how long
so
it took
how
me?
long? So how do you heal your trauma of your divorce? How would you heal that?
The divorce wasn't the trauma.
What was the trauma?
Being with the man.
Okay, how would you heal that?
It's been very hard.
So
Getting
it's not
away.
healed?
Well, it is healed in the sense that, do you really want to go into it? It's really dark.
Well, when you say healing, no, what I want to get into is this idea of healing trauma. When you say,
So-
do you heal trauma? And I go, I'm not sure you can heal trauma. You go, well, you can. And I say, well,
Do you want to
if you
explain
can,
to you?
it's like saying,
There's a protocol in my book. Do you want to talk about how it's done?
which part of your book?
Here, let me-
Just tell me the chapter.
Oh, here, I'll have to find it. Well, I need the book to look at the chapter. Oh, here, I'll use this one. Okay. Okay, I created a protocol to explain to you how to do it.
GMD Jim donated $100. This is precisely the result of the closure of asylums back in the 80s. We now embrace this stuff. Honey, you are not trained, you have been indoctrinated by other crazy people.
Okay, so right here on page 57, my method, processing severe trauma. Do you want me to read you the couple pages? It's only 2 pages, it looks like.
Well, or you can just give me a summarization.
Well, I'd just rather read it.
Okay.
Okay, so my method, processing severe trauma. In my relentless study of anthropology, sociology, and the psychology of various individuals, I had come to realize that it was never the actual events, situations, or words spoken that traumatized people, for the most part. Rather, it was their uncontrolled, obsessive mental recalling of the situation, then the meaning they assigned to it all that really had the power to either chronically or just acutely traumatize the person. In other words, there was a reason some people were just deeply shaken and grieved by certain things, but then seemed to move on just fine, while others seemed to get stuck, severely traumatized for a lifetime. It had nothing to do with how bad, quote unquote, the traumatic event was or not. It had to do with how the person felt and then handled it after the fact.
That doesn't...
As I mentioned previously, I
where's the
asked the
actual
infinite.
method?
As I mentioned previously, I asked the infinite to show me a way to process the loss of Steve and how to get rid of the graphic images from that night so that I wouldn't get PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or any other long-term negative effects. Once I asked the question, I started receiving inspired thoughts that ended up being the practical step-by-step solution to this problem. I had been trying to help people recover from abuse and other traumas for years and never actually believed it was possible. Up until then, I believed the best people could do was learn to cope with their traumas so they didn't completely ruin their lives. Holding on to that belief created the reality for me by shutting my RAS off, so that's the reticular activating system, to any contradictory information, hence a confirmation bias. But now my mind was unlocked and I was asking my higher, infinite self better questions and believing there had to be a way. This is what was downloaded into my mind from the infinite. Okay, this is the method that came through.
Okay.
Place a meaning on the event that feels good, no matter how far you must reach. Remember how I told you that the meaning we place on events is very powerful and completely within our power. I decided I would believe that everything had happened exactly as it was supposed to. With Steve, my unborn baby, my marriage, my kids, and my old life that had come to an end, I also chose to believe this about all the rest of things, including my childhood and being born to my parents in the dysfunctional family. I would believe it all happened as it was supposed to. I would believe that I was an infinite spiritual being who had chosen to incarnate into this human existence because there were things that I wanted to experience that would deepen my understanding and love for myself, for life, and for other souls.
Hang on,
I would
let's stop for a
believe that
second.
my willingness to have
we
these
stop for a second so I go over some of
experiences
this?
and let them deepen me.
Is it just gonna be
would
a
give
fucking
me
book
gifts.
reading?
Yes, I told you that I would be able to share, and the sharing would feel really good to me.
She's just not going to stop.
These beliefs, I told you it was only
Now
2
it's a pride
pages.
thing.
These beliefs felt good and right and empowering. So I put them in my thought nursery to give them attention. And any
Yeah, you
opposing
gotta-
thoughts.
Okay, so Desiree, I don't know, you read the section that's pertinent to the conversation?
No, he wanted to know my process.
Yeah, but I got your process.
Okay,
Your
so-
No,
proce-
you didn't. There's still more.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to move it on.
Your,
You
pro-
can't
your
just-
process is you ask God and cope. That's the process.
No, it's not. It's how to
You ask
release
the
the
infinite.
trauma.
The infinite is God, and then you
No,
cope.
I just told you. You have to place a meaning on the event that feels good.
That's called cope.
It's not called
That's
cope.
cope.
It's
That's
called
literally
finding a
coping.
meaning.
That is doing everything you can.
And then you have to grab-
take the event and pretend it's something other than what the event is.
No,
That is
it's
cope.
not. It's
Yes, it is.
agree to disagree. Grab a happy image and put it into the thought nursery. Now, if you read my book, you would know what the thought nursery is.
The thought
To
nursery.
dwell on for a few minutes. Let the better feelings associated with the happy image emerge. breathe into these better feelings and savor them. I did this as many times a day as necessary. So what I would have to do is, so the image was of my friend dead on the table, basically blue, with intubated and everything. He died, and they made me go back and see him dead on the table, and his mom wanted me to delay the coroner from taking his body. That's the only reason I had to see him dead. I don't recommend people do that. There's no fucking point. But anyway, I had to go and see this man who died in my arms first, and then they tried to resuscitate him, obviously, intubated him. He's blue on the table. His mom,
Be free.
I had to tell, Steve's dead. Well, I didn't tell her that, but I told her, I don't know, he's unconscious. She met me at the hospital, but on her way there, she was begging me to stall the coroner from taking his body because they wanted time for the brother to come and be able to see. I don't know why people want to traumatize themselves by doing this. Again, I don't recommend forcing yourself to see your loved one
But
dead.
that's not necessarily trauma. That's part of the closure process.
Okay, well, for some it is, but for a lot of people, they get stuck on those images. For me, I got stuck with him blue, intubated,
Yeah, but that's
dead on the
because people
table.
have a
So
disconnection between what is life
do you
and
want
what
to
is
hear
death.
how I got over that and
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
get
Move it on,
PTSD?
Okay, yeah, we
I
got
gotta
to move to the
I
next
gotta
point.
move
But
it on.
before we do, I'd like to stay on this point, right? So people have a huge disconnection from what is life and what is death. Not everybody, and by the way, people used to have to deal with death a lot more. They used to have to deal with dead bodies a lot more, things like this. I don't think that it's ingrained to be traumatic necessarily. It's something that people just don't really have to deal with very much. So it becomes not personal. It always becomes somebody else is dealing with it. You're just dealing with a memory. But the thing is that when you say things like, take this thing that actually happened and put a fun, happy spin on it, so it's something that you remember fondly instead, that is an embrace of delusion. So how's that not cope?
If I can have a bit of some like extended.
Sure.
So we kind of veered off of this. I was asking how me or Andrew or the show is woman hating. I did not get an adequate response.
Because I'm a woman and I've shared a lot with you, and it's never been met with any sort of understanding or empathy. It's only been met with hostility and like this weird commitment to not understanding me. And
Couldn't I just say the same thing to you?
sure,
No empathy, no understanding.
sure. If that's how you feel.
So can you, I mean, what's that Aristotle quote about crying? Okay, so
Crying is one of the ways
It's-
that the body processes the trauma in real time. That way we don't hold on to it.
or is it a way to appeal to emotion to try to get people onto your side without actually having a strong foundation or position for what you're actually trying to say and argue?
That is a way that people who lack genuine empathy, that is a way that they use appeared emotion to manipulate others, but my emotion is actually genuine.
Okay, well, I don't see how that has anything to do with a woman hating.
I'm a healer. As women were gifted with special abilities to take on.
Look, these are words that you said.
GMD Jim donated $100. Trust not a woman when she weeps, for it is her nature to weep when she wants, so will Socrates.
Socrates, yeah.
Okay, well, if you're not comfortable with me crying, I'm gonna have to go because some of the things
I
we're
mean,
talking about
if you want
makes
to
me cry.
if that's fine. I'm still just trying to understand, aside from how you felt,
I don't.
if there's
I
something you
don't,
can point
I don't
to.
think that you are trying to understand anything. I think that you are trying to bring a point across. So just say what your point is that you would like to prove, and then I can just submit and we can move on.
I'm not really sure if that's what I'm trying to do, but earlier in the show, you said that me and Andrew are woman-hating. The show is woman-hating. So I'm asking you to point to something specific.
I keep
Andrew-
doing it, and you don't want to accept it. So I don't see the point in continuing the conversation. I told you that I am a woman, and I didn't feel safe, and I don't feel safe in your presence. Hence, woman hating, because I am a representative of woman.
Well, so if I'm a man and I feel uncomfortable in your presence, does that mean you're a man-hater?
You can say that if that's how you feel.
Does it make it true? Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
That I am a man hater?
Because I feel unsafe in your presence.
I would validate if that's how I made you feel. At least.
But would it make you a man-hater? Or would you be like, no, I'm not a man-hater?
Possibly.
Because of how I made you feel.
If man is taking your form, then
I
yes.
am male.
If,
I am a male.
If man is taking your form, then yes, there is hatred there, because it's not you as a soul, it's you as an ideology coming at me and not inviting me to feel safe in your presence.
Didn't you just, so me and Andrew were sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting down. We were just talking. At moments, it was a lively conversation, but we were remaining in our seats. Was it Andrew, or was it me, or was it you who got out of their seat, came all the way over here, got into our physical space, and I mean, Andrew's sitting to my left. Who was that? Was that us or was it you?
It was me invoked by you. You invited me to...
I invited you
Yes.
to
Yes.
walk over and get into our physical space.
Yes.
How did I... So you're saying we consented to that?
I am saying that you didn't give a shit about my personal space emotionally, so I didn't
What?
give a shit
Hold on.
about your physical space. And
That
so
doesn't make any sense
I
at all.
gave you a taste of your own medicine, and you didn't like it.
So what was the point you were trying to prove?
Give you a taste of your own medicine,
What
and
was
so
the medicine which we were dispensing?
you could feel what it feels like to be
What was the
disrespected.
medicine you claim we were dispensing?
Disrespect.
This conversation, while we disagree, has actually been fairly, I mean, there were times where it got a bit heated, but it's otherwise been fairly
And times
calm.
where there was sexual assault. Let's not forget that.
I like Celsius
In any
too.
case, so when it comes to your safety, and this being evidence of woman-hating,
Yeah.
we've remained here. While you might disagree with what we say, you got out of your chair,
Yeah.
walked around the table. We didn't
Yeah.
know if you were going to strike us or what you were going to do.
You were scared? Did I scare you?
Why are you smiling when you say that? That's interesting.
Because it makes me feel more safe to know that
That-
maybe I have some sort of power in your presence.
You do realize women have capacity for violence?
I'm not a fighter, you could say.
Well, hold on. We don't know that. Like,
Well,
you could have come over here, smacked Andrew in
Ulysses
the
the
face.
Pagan donated $100. What did you think coming on a podcast debate meant? A debate is adversarial in nature. When you tone police, it equates to you have nothing to say and the purpose to derail the conversation.
So, I mean, can I ask you a question? So, going back to you felt unsafe in the emotional space.
Yeah.
So you, as retribution, you wanted to make us feel unsafe in the physical space.
Correct.
And that's why you got out of your chair.
Correct.
Walked all the way around
Correct.
here. And I mean, we didn't know if you were going to try to strike Andrew.
Correct.
He's closer.
Correct.
But you essentially pulled up your
correct. Yes.
dress.
Yes.
And put
Yes.
your ass right in his
Yes.
space.
Yes. So I wanted you to understand the height of how you guys affect me emotionally and spiritually. It was like that.
So do you think other forms of I would
rather you beat me. I would literally rather you punch me in the face.
Well, I'm not interested in doing that. So hold on. Would you say that even if I don't categorize what you did specifically as a violent act, using your
Wilson's _wife donated $100. Wow, that was quite a journey. We've been through vibrations, colonialism, feminism, scam, black slave souls locked in sexy white bodies, spores oh spores, tears, showing ass, riding Jesus D1CK.
All right, Wilson's wife, thank you, appreciate it. If somebody is making you feel unsafe in your mental or emotional space, saying, even not categorizing what you did as violence, is violence justified as retribution if somebody makes you feel unsafe? Physical violence makes you feel unsafe in the emotional or psychological space?
Yeah, it's called eye for an eye. You reap what you sow.
So, just so I understand this correctly, you would have also been justified to, for example, like, try to physically assault Andrew in that moment also?
I believe I would, yes.
Right. Would you have been legally justified?
Yeah, I believe I could get away with it.
Megadeth 188 donated $100. This is what she does. She is the first to attack people personally, then she cries to gain sympathy.
Yeah,
She is a manipulator. That's why she told you she
Wait,
might harm herself.
Before you get up,
Sympathy and manipulation.
Louder doesn't work
Okay.
for you.